Hello, and today we're doing an FPL review of game week number 19. It was a very interesting game week, and let's wrap up what was a very solid score of 61 for my free hit team. You love to see it. We're going to get into how each of my players did, and just look at that game week rank. In the top 100k. It's unbelievable, Jeff. You love to see it, but let's get into it, and to start off with, can I just say, it's a green arrow. A green arrow is all we want, and it's a lovely green arrow. A gain this week of, compared to last week's rank, a gain of 263,000. Beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. It means our rank now is 463,617, which is amazing considering, I'm looking for a total of 600k by the end of the season, and I've already surpassed that, so we just need to keep it up. But it's very, very good. A green arrow is all we like, and considering a lot of people struggled this week, it was a bit of an odd free hit week, but it was an exceptional game week for me, and I outscored a lot of and most of the free hit teams that other people had. And to be honest, I'm absolutely loving it because I couldn't have chosen a better captain. Who did I captain? It was, in fact, Mr. Harry Kane. What an absolute legend. Lovely flying header in the game, and, he just loves London games. He just always scores, and I just thought, I hadn't owned Kane all season, I'll take a punt on him, and boy did that punt work. And yeah, it's just lovely stuff, really. But we did actually surpass what I had originally predicted because, interestingly enough, on, I think it was Thursday night, I looked at my team. It was on 54 points, and I was thinking, yeah, don't mind it. Don't mind it at all. Pretty good week. Other way around. It was on 46, and I was saying, all right, by the end of the week, let's at least, fingers crossed, get to 54. And that was what I was thinking, because I had Leno, Holding, and Smith Rowe to come. And boy, did we absolutely boss that. And I was absolutely singing by the end of Thursday because it was a great week to even surpass 60 points. But yeah, we got above 54, and we also got some lovely clean sheets. As you can see there, the whole defence and the goalkeeper got clean sheets. I mean, what more could you want, really? So it's really, really good. But boy, one thing is for sure, am I glad that I went with Harry Kane, Holding, and Bird Leno. Leno, it makes sense, as the pun sometimes says. But to be fair, in my previous FPL preview, that was not the three I had. It was the three of Martial, Kieran Tierney, and Darlow. But I tell you what, people, the reason my voice sounded like a chipmunk, the reason that I was bewildering you was because I saw my crystal ball and I thought, hang on a sec, I know what's going to happen here. Kieran Tierney's going to get a last-minute injury, and also that Martial is going to blank and get a hamstring injury. I just know these things, No, on a real, though, it's such a good move by me to change it, and, Kane and Holding just did the bits, really, and Leno, what an absolute legend, made a great save to deny Benteke, and, yeah, it just really worked this week for me. And KDB and Rashford were, of course, the creators this week. Would have been nice if they were a bit more selfish, but the quality of their assists is certainly very much exciting me, because that Rashford assist, just such a lovely clipped cross into Pogba with the volley, and then the work from KDB to just thread it through. He's so forward thinking, and he kind of sees things before anyone else does. And Foden getting the goal. He's in very good form, and he seems a bit undroppable at the minute, does Phil Foden, because he's now Manchester City's top scorer. I think maybe in all competitions or something. But the point is, it's a lovely couple of 6 points there for my two of my premium midfielders. The other two premiums, Son and Fernandes, let me down. But when you have Son pretty much all the season, and I've been sometimes having him, sometimes not, I really don't mind because I had Kane. So I was thinking if Kane scored, Son was going to assist it. It didn't work out that way, but as long as I had Kane, it was fine. So we don't really mind. The only thing that was a shame this week was Tyrick Mitchell, and 8 points on the bench is not ideal, but at the end of the day, everyone was in that boat. A lot of people benching Mitchell, and understandably so, against an in-form Arsenal team. but fair play. You know, those that did play him got the 8 points, and he did really do well. But I just didn't expect the bonuses. I was praying for some bonuses for Leno. He was so close, and so was Holding. But it did go with the way of the Crystal Palace youngster, and you know, it's a really, really good auto sub, I think, because Smith Rowe, he gets games, and he's looked really, really good on Thursday night. Unlucky to not get an assist, because the amount of times he was working hard for that team, trying to cross the ball in, and it would just get very stubbornly defended by Palace, and a clearance from, you know, Kouyaté or from Dan Ward, it's really, really good. So Smith Rowe, I'm very happy with you, mate. Yes, you didn't get any points, but the clean sheet for the midfielder, we don't mind it. And it wasn't ideal, of course, that I had brought in Victor Lindelof, but it's not a bad auto sub to come in, is Emil Smith Rowe. So, yeah, it would have been nice, of course, if I'd have, I don't know, picked Luke Shaw, because he, of course, I think got bonuses or something, or one of them, it was between Shaw and Bailly. And I'm pretty sure I had originally Bailly in my old team, but I really don't mind about that, because as you can see there, I already got a full house of clean sheets, so it really didn't matter. So going player by player, Bird Leno, I mean, he was just brilliant on Thursday night and made a few really, really good stops and just didn't look like he was going to concede in that game. So I'm really happy about that. Palace going forward are always a tough one to call, but last night they were a bit iffy. So that was a perfect game for Leno. John Stones, I mean, this guy is just an absolute legend. He's just come on leaps and bounds this season, and he's really shown that he can do the bits and keep clean sheets, and he's keeping Aymeric Laporte out of that team, which is incredible stuff. And if you just look at John Stone's clean sheet record, he's now got a whopping, well, I say whopping, but he's got 3 clean sheets in the last 4, and before that he wasn't being played. And look at all these games: 5-2 against Leeds, 1-1 against Leeds, and 1-1 against West Ham, 1-1 against Liverpool. These are all games that Man City weren't keeping clean sheets, so he's really had a great impact. And unlucky to not score in some of the games. Obviously scored in the Carabao Cup, but we could see some more threat against the next opponent he faces, of course, Crystal Palace. But Cancelo, very, very good player as well. He's got so much attacking threat, and how he didn't get an assist in the game against Brighton, I will never know. Just so unlucky, and that Mahrez chance, you thought that was going to go in, but he just dribbled it across goal. And yeah, I think Cancelo is a very, very good player to own if you can afford him. He's obviously quite expensive at the minute, but very, very good. Portuguese talent, of course, and you can't go wrong with that. And I've said about Holding, he's just such a legend for me, and he's actually such a bargain at 4.5. I don't know how he's not gone up in price, because he keeps clean sheets, and he's a cheap way into that Arsenal defence. Nearly scored a header, actually, with a set-piece chance against Palace, so could have been even better for Holding, but as I said, the 6 points for the defenders is just delightful. Now, in terms of the attacking stuff, we said about Smith Rowe already, but Rashford, what an absolute legend. He's been so good on and off the pitch, and you know, maybe he could have scored in this game. It was a good fixture, but we'll take the assist at the end of the day. And it would have been nice, of course, to get a bonus, but you can't get it all. You can't win them all, and we'll take the clean sheet as well for Marcus Rashford. When you think about it, the fact that a player like Marcus Rashford, who plays so far forward, is getting a clean sheet is pretty crazy. But we'll take what fantasy can give us. And the other assister, Kevin De Bruyne, is just the key part of that Man City team. He's just very much the heart and soul of that team. And he had a good chance, to be fair, a close range where it was saved by Sanchez, and Sanchez made a lot of good saves. So, you know, it could have been a bigger haul on another day, but you know, De Bruyne will count himself unlucky, and he will count himself still a big part of that Man City team, as I mentioned. Now, Heung-min Son, that was a bit unfortunate, because he could have easily scored a brace or a hat-trick. The amount of chances he had, he hit the post with that opportunity one-on-one that, you know, there was no way that the goalie there, Areola, was going to get to that, and he just scuffed it. And then, of course, he had that chance in the first half with the header. Really, really good save, to be fair, from Areola. So I think there could have easily been more points for Son, but it was just one of those games. Spurs not quite there attacking themselves. Obviously, Kane's still strong, but not Son. So that's fine. We don't mind it. And will we move on from Son for the double game week? Well, we'll have to find out. Watch it on my FPL preview coming at 11 o'clock tomorrow. But Fernandes, mate, against Burnley. I mean, I'm glad I didn't captain him. I did vice captain him, of course, but yeah, he just really wasn't on his game in that game, and got another yellow card, which means he is on 4 yellows. So if he gets booked, interestingly, against Liverpool, he will miss that Fulham match to be the second part of the double game week. So that's one to watch out for, but he's still a good player to have. And if Man United get a penalty, you know he's going to score it. So I don't know, but he's still a good player. And look, if you look at that midfield, it is a great midfield. It would have been nice, obviously, to have Saka as well. But as I said, Smith Rowe did the bits, was unlucky to not score, and Saka was quiet anyway, so it was fine. And then the front two, one of them absolutely terrible, the other absolutely brilliant. I mean, Wilson is just a bit isolated in that Newcastle team, and it was a punt, of course, on a free hit. You're taking a lot of punts, really, just for one game week. And you thought against Sheffield United he would surely score, but fair enough. Sheffield United battled defensively and they deserved the win. Wilson did have a good chance, to be fair, from a header, but it just wasn't his day. And we don't mind about that because the man next to him absolutely made up for it. And what a header, flying for that cross. And can I just say, what a cross from Sergio Reguilon. He's been unlucky, Reguilon, to not get assists earlier on in the season, but that just shows he can do it. And yeah, it's always a shame to miss out on a player that scores 8 points. And to compound things, he's actually in the dream team for this week. But as I said, I wouldn't have known that Arsenal did nothing in that game, that Mitchell kept a clean sheet and that Mitchell played so well. But Lindelof, 0-pointer, and obviously Davis didn't play, but that wasn't the grand scheme of things. The grand scheme of things was this starting 11, and boy, did this starting 11 deliver. 61 points. I mean, it's just lovely. And as you can see here, people, we've gone up in literally most of our mini-leagues. There's not one mini-league that we've gone down in, which is lovely. So really, really good stuff there. And we're starting to build momentum. That's the key thing. We're building momentum, which is so important in fantasy football because you can start to feel more confident in your team. But obviously, this free hit is a 1 week thing. So it does get reset to my Game Week 17 team. And we'll have to look at that and basically decide what we do. But basically, Game Week 18, very, very good week. And it's one that I certainly will remember, I think, because just so much consistency in this team this week. And it's not a bad auto sub, is it? Three from Smith Rowe. And it does mean we're up to, as I said, 463k. And as I said, considering my goal was 600k, I'm absolutely buzzing with that. Interestingly enough about Mitchell, actually, Mitchell at 3.9 million, he actually scored, believe it or not, more points in FPL than this game week than Bruno, Sterling, Son, and Callum Wilson combined, which is absolutely crazy. But that just shows the unpredictability of this season. But, you know, I've hit 1,042 points. We're going to try and push now to get even better in game week number 19. But it's the double game week coming up. So it's double game week time. Let's get cracking with it. But for an FPL game week, I think free hit is a hard one sometimes to negotiate. And boy, have we done that well. So really, really happy. And let's try and keep climbing. We're now up to in the top 130k for players in England of FPL, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. So, yeah, that is my gaming review. I hope you have enjoyed. Smash a like on the video, and I'll see you in the next one, which will be a double game week preview for this season. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.